Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday Namaste session. You'll notice it's a little bit different for me. I am outside and I'm hoping this is going to work because we have no electricity here at Namaste today. All electricity in the neighborhood is out. So I am on my phone, my hotspot from my phone, and hopefully it will continue to work and last, and we can have a beautiful joining here as we do every day. In fact, today's session is going to be, we're going to take a little bit of a different turn because we've been talking for several weeks now about stepping beyond our ideas, our concepts, our opinions, our need to correct. We've been stepping away from it all and stepping into an open, wide expansiveness that comes about when we begin by just saying, I don't know. I don't know. In my mind, in my conceptual mind, I don't have an answer for you. But there is a deeper place within me that not only has an answer, but literally is the answer. And so I begin with, I don't know, but then I move instantly to a place of, I love you. And I expand within that love. And then we enter together into an experience that is beyond words, beyond all of those concepts. So yesterday I was speaking with someone about that. And I remembered a book that I had on my shelf that I've always loved. And it's a book called Journey Beyond Words, which is just a wonderful book that was brought to us by Brent Haskell. And I thought, let's share a little bit from this perspective, and see where that takes us, because the truth is always true, however it's presented, whether it comes through A Course in Miracles or any other experience or expression of truth. The truth is always true. And if we can find these powerful beams of light or laser beams that take us right to the center of that truth, well, I think that's most helpful. So I opened up the book today, and in fact the introduction, not the introduction, but right before the book starts, there's a quote from A Course in Miracles that says, "And so we start our journey beyond words." And that's what we're going to do today. So let's just take a deep breath. And maybe we can begin with a little prayer. Prayer takes us to that place of silence more than our thoughts and our concepts, because we're open and we're willing. So today we ask to be moved to a place that is so whole and so complete that words and concepts cannot rise. We ask to be lifted into that holy center where there is no movement, where there is only grace. We allow that grace to fill us now, to fill us so completely that no other earthly concept or thought of separation can move us. We give ourselves completely now to this journey that takes us beyond words, that takes us to the holiness that has always been true, the love that is and will always be our very foundation. Amen. So this morning, right before session, I opened up the book and a few paragraphs jumped right out at me. So let me read this from the book Journey Beyond Words, and then we'll talk about it. So I'm going to ask you to listen not with your ears, your physical ears, but the ears of your heart. Did you know that your heart has ears? It does. And it can listen in a way that your mind will never receive. It will pick things out and hear things and discover things that the mind or the perceptual mind will never be able to ever comprehend. So see if you can listen with the ears of your heart. We are not trying to take anything away from you. Rather, to help you dissolve barriers to your state of peace. As we help you break down these walls, you will realize, first in thoughts, but then, and this is the essence, you shall experience the truth we bring. Experience the truth. You will experience it you will experience it with knowing and certainty at the deepest level of your being. You will experience the truth with knowing and certainty at the deepest level of your being, far beyond the thoughts. Isn't that why we're here? We say this every day, that we're here to have a deep, true experience of certainty. Certainty of what? Certainty that I'm whole as I was created. Certain that the foundation of my being is love, that I can let go of everything that seems to contradict that. You can't really describe the certainty because it is beyond all of these thoughts and all of these concepts, but you can feel it and you know it when you feel it, because it doesn't need to be explained. When you're certain of something, when you know it for sure, no explanation is needed or required. There's a deep knowing, and that's the experience we're seeking here. It continues by saying, in the knowing, in the certainty, in the experiencing, the barriers to peace will dissolve. You shall be free. You are here to learn to live, not to learn how to think. Indeed, you will discover with great rejoicing that your thinking, in great measure, is what keeps you from being truly alive. Stop thinking. That's what it's saying here. You think that you think that you think. You think that your thoughts are showing you the real world, but all they're really doing is pulling a curtain over your perception so that you see only that which loops in your thoughts, only that which you think you believe. Isn't that what we've been talking about for several weeks now? You will see only that which you want to see, and your thoughts are what are showing you that. And if you close your eyes and refuse to look at what is really happening, you'll just spin on those conceptions, those illusions that have captured your mind but have left your soul empty. So now is the time for us to let them go completely. We don't have to learn how to think. We have to learn how to let go of our thoughts. And that's what this is saying. Let me read that last part. You are here to learn to live, not to learn to think. Indeed, you will discover with great rejoicing that your thinking, in great measure, is what has kept you from being truly alive. Ponder for a moment your idea of anything. That idea or that thought is but an interpretation. It is a choice you make, a choice which defines for you that which you seem to be experiencing. The key word there is seem, that which you seem to be experiencing. The choice or the thought is what has defined that which you seem to be experiencing. But if you close your eyes once again and just make up a world in your imagination, what you seem to be experiencing is really nothing, just the spinning of your thoughts. And the longing and the desire to see past that and to be in a true experience of certainty, of knowing. This is the key. This is what we're pointing toward. One more little bit here. I have come to tell you, this is the Christ speaking to you. I have come to tell you, and hear this well, that what you experience, what you interpret, which is based upon your thoughts, has nothing whatsoever to do with reality. If you just got that one sentence, you'd have it all. if you really accepted what you just heard, all those barriers would fall like dominoes. I love going to Vicky's house because she loves playing with dominoes. And when she plays with dominoes, sometimes you can set them up and you tip one and then they all fall. And that's what will happen with your thoughts when you get what you just heard, when you really get it. Let me read it one more time. I have come to tell you, and hear me well, that what you perceive or what you interpret, which is based upon your thoughts, has nothing whatsoever to do with reality. Nothing. This is a description of the major barrier which separates you from your peace. Your thoughts, your concepts, your illusions have nothing to do with the real world or with reality. And your decision to see that, to know that, and then to choose beyond that, that's why we're here. That's why we join every day, for that decision. Only that. Because there's nothing else. All of the other things which cloud your mind, I'm gonna use 3 words here, maybe 4. They aren't really there. They only seem to be there. But in truth, and that's what we're seeking here, they are not really there. They are illusions, clouds, whatever you want to call them, but they are not really there. And your willingness to go there, to accept that, is your freedom. I'm going to read one more little bit here that I found on the next page. And this gives you the solution. This is it right here. You have come into this world, onto this earth, to imagine what it would be like to live in a state of separation. But deep within you is the knowing that you are not separate from any aspect of creation and can never be. Once again, deep within you, there is a knowing that you are not separate from any aspect of creation and can never be. So, at the deepest level of your truth, you realize that your goal must be to overcome that which you came here to experience. Once again, you came here to experience the possibility of a state of separation, but that can never be. At the deepest level, what you're really here to do is to overcome that which you came here to experience. And therein lies the path to salvation. What you think you see is not really there. And yet beyond that is a world which you can see, you can experience, you can choose right now if you realize you're ready. You know, I remember back in 1995 when I had the experience that I based the book Emissary of Light on. The whole experience can be boiled down to the emissaries telling me 3 words: you are ready. You wouldn't be hearing this if you weren't. You're ready for this. Now say yes, now step into it, because it's the only game in town. So it seems like the internet is working all right. I can hear the others in the other room listening, so we're all here together. And I'm going to turn it over to Vicky and let her take it even deeper.
Hi, Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, thank you. Brent Haskell, his book is another wonderful channeled book that he talks a lot about values, like what Teddy was talking about also as a theme. But today, this was the best, that we came here. Our real purpose is to overcome what we came to do.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it. We came to overcome what we came to do. We came to live in separation. We're here to overcome that. And thank God there's a navigating system. There's a guidance system out of it, because we have chosen to come for separation. We're going to still see in perception separation until we overcome the desire for separation. And that's always your theme. And the guidance system that we came in with, thank God, at the moment this mad idea came into our heads, we call the Holy Spirit, the Christ mind, what the flow, the Tao. It's in every language, in every single tradition. And as we go with the flow, as we go with the guidance of the Holy Spirit, our Christ mind, the mind of light, not the world that we came in for, but the overriding system that can move us through it, all we have to do is listen and follow. There isn't anything else to figure out. That's why we don't need to understand and think. There's not a lot of thinking necessary. There's listening and following, and listening and following. And as we listen to the guidance system of our hearts, of love, of the Holy Spirit, our perceptions are changed because we see the value now of loving and the beauty of joining rather than the ego's old idea to come in to stay separate. We start experiencing how much fun it is to be together. And that's really it. And then we want more of that fun because it's true and it uplifts us. And we don't need to be convinced that we're happy. We're happy when we join, and there's no joining without love. And the voice of love, all we have to do is listen to it and follow wherever we are. It's not a long process, and we are ready. All of us are ready. All of us can stop right now and just listen to what, this is from Queen Elsa again in Frozen, what our next right step is. That next right step is always going to be something of love. When we listen with that inner ear, and then we follow it, even if it's just to make a cup of tea right now, or it's just to share in the light that's streaming all around you. But if we listen, and that's the only decision rather than thinking. So for me, thinking is the ego's idea of listening and joining. Thinking separates everything out. Thinking is the workshop of separation. Listening to the heart, right, is the overcoming of that thought system that keeps the ego world of separation in place, and it works within us and then through us, and it works on an energetic level to join all of the souls that are already one into the realization that we are one. It's very simple. Just today, just listen with your heart and only follow that. Don't think about it. Don't worry about the outcome. Don't worry what the goal is. This is the goal. The goal is imminently in this moment, only to listen to our heart and follow it. And it's follow the yellow brick road home. It's the gold light road of love and light. And it brings us home. Brings us home in every instant, not tomorrow or later, not because we fulfilled some physical stuff that was supposed to happen, but because right now we tune in and listen. And that's what we listen to when we listen to one another, not just here, but everywhere. When we listen to one another, when we listen with our inner ear, we hear this song of love that we love one another. And if we don't hear, I love you, we hear, please help me. I want to feel loved and I need help. So it's either we're hearing a call and a song of love, or we're hearing the call for that love. So it's always just, again, right back here, the how of it is just let me listen to my heart and the voice of spirit in me, and then let me follow it. Listening won't help if we don't follow it, because that's where the experience comes in. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Vicky. It's so strange to imagine that our thoughts and our thinking, that's the thing that has kept us from being who we really are, or from experiencing who we are, and that we're, as it said here, that we must overcome that which we came here to experience. We came here to experience our thoughts, our separating thoughts. And now that we realize that, we're here to overcome that. And we do that by just listening to our heart and taking a step beyond the thoughts. It's not that you're not going to know what to do. You will always know what to do if you just stay in your heart. And the truth is, your heart has a much greater capacity to think than your brain anyway. They've proven that scientifically. Your heart has its own way of thinking, of understanding. So we begin by allowing the awakening of that heart. We listen to that, we follow that, we let go of all those thoughts. And when the thoughts and the all of the conceptions and perceptions enter, we just, okay, whatever. We just let them go back into the heart and listen deeply. And as you said, we follow. Teddy, I'm sure you have something great to share around this. What would you like to say?
Well, um, well, first of all, I want to say that we should pray for Brent because right now he's in a bit of a physical crisis. I got a message from his wife, Jesus through his wife, actually, that he would like our prayers. That's one thing I'd like to say about. And the other thing is, it's really true. When I read everything that I hear, it comes down to like the first 14 or 15 lessons of A Course in Miracles, and just a mind training program to get us to recognize that our thoughts are meaningless and they're images that we've made, and those images make up the world that we see, and the world we see has nothing to do with reality, is of our own making, and it does not exist, period. Now that's a hard thing to take, which is why it requires mind training. But it also, in the experience of it, the mind training makes perfect sense, because when you see what reality is, it bears no resemblance to this at all and renders this an impossibility. So how we sit and stand and talk in an impossibility is way beyond my ability to understand. And yet, given what we're learning in like Brent's book and in the course, and by joining together here, it helps us realize that it's okay to go beyond the images and beyond, what we're seeing and thinking, because there is something entirely different that will fill our hearts and flood our hearts with love. And that's all anybody really wants anyway. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we're safe to do that, as you said. We've been feeling and believing that I'm safe in my thoughts. I'm safe in my separation. And this speaks to that original idea of separation, or what all religions call the fall. We feel safe within, kind of hunkering down into that, rather than expanding into the love that can set us free and show us that there's no reason for guilt. It's guilt. Guilt is the glue that holds it all together. And when you realize there's nothing for you to be guilty of, everything that you had in your mind that you thought you were guilty of never happened, period. It never happened. Then the glue begins to dissolve. You find that there's more space between your thoughts. I speak to people here all the time and they say, I'm not thinking like I used to. It's like there's this expansiveness and I say, that's how it's supposed to work. That there starts to be more space between your thoughts and you can't hold them together in the same way. The ego wants you to hold your thoughts together at all costs. Keep them together. But when you begin to get what we're talking about here, they began to expand. There's more space, but you're happy. That expansiveness brings such joy, not constriction, when your thoughts are held together. Wow. Thank you, Teddy. Thank you, Vicky. Let's pop over here to Namaste and we'll see if anyone wants to share anything there. I'm glad this is working, even though we don't have any internet. Good morning to all of you. I can actually see you. I'm waving at you now. Everybody wave. Because I'm up on top of my roof so I can see over the wall. Hi.
Christine and Les on me.
Wow. Welcome to all of you. We've got some new people here today. Who would like to share something? Christina, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Where is that journey beyond words?
The journey beyond words is silent. It's still. It doesn't mean that there isn't movement and sound that happens, but it arises from the stillness, from the silence. And so I would like to invite us just to take a moment or two together to enter that journey beyond words. Just take a breath and let's just rest here for a moment. This journey began for this Christina when I was very young. When I was 15, I had a near-death experience. When I was in my early 20s, I was being advised by Native American elders. I was in communities where silence was practiced. And I have to say that for decades, I read truth. I thought about truth. I read books. I listened to gurus. And if I had stayed there, I would still be there and I would die in this body there. It's not until we take the journey beyond words and we rest in the stillness that we come to recognize who and what we and all is. So if I come to this call every day, or I come to my book every day, or I come to my guru every day, and I'm lifted by truth, and I'm lifted by, oh yeah, everything's okay, I still am never going to experience the truth that I am until I'm willing to rest in the stillness, beyond the words. So today, as we leave this call and as we're in this call, may we rest. May we choose the journey beyond words. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Anybody else there at Namaste want to share anything? If so, just come sit up in front. Bless you. Anybody else? Okay. Let's go ahead and go back to the Zoom room. And would anyone like to share anything here? Want to ask a question or expand? Go ahead, George.
Okay. Something that fits in there with me with this is this belief that I know society has that says we need to do so we can have something that we want and then we'll be happy or we'll be loved. But it's all about doing. And it doesn't work because those doing, as we've been talking about, are based upon old thoughts, beliefs that we said, oh, if I did this the right way, or if I did this the right way, then I'd be happy. We got to turn that around and put be first. Choose to be what you want to be in your heart. Be joyful. If you don't know what you want to be, ask the question, what do I want to have? I want to have more peace in my life. Then I need to choose to be and let go of any doing thing. God will take care of that. It's not to me to think about what steps I should take. I believe it's just listen to my heart, listen to God, be who I want to be, and things will unfold the way they're supposed to. And I'll have what I want.
That's right. Joy and happiness actually comes from the undoing, not the doing.
Yeah.
That's what the mind will never really get, because the mind, your intellectual mind, your thinking brain is all about the doing, and your heart, your soul is all about the undoing. And that's where you find the real joy. That's where the expansiveness comes, when I allow myself to be undone. My concepts, my ideas, all of those silly, crazy thoughts and ideas that seem to define me, which have done nothing but limit me, wrap chains around me. So it is
And
all
the
about
doing,
the undoing.
yeah, and the doing that we do from our ego is only based upon past experiences.
Of course,
It has no idea of the future or anything or the present. It just thinks the past all the time.
it's never now. Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
George. Yes, Dave, go ahead.
Well, I have a heavy heart this morning, and I'm here to receive support. I was at a neighborhood meeting last night, and before I went, I just had received guidance not to speak at all, not to say anything. And I went against that guidance.